Have you ever wondered why your heart pounds at the slightest creak in the dark, or why you instinctively flinch at a sudden movement? It feels irrational, right? But what if I told you that these fears, this constant, nagging anxiety, are not a weakness, but a superpower? An ancient survival mechanism gifted to us by millions of years of evolution. Today, we are diving into the dark side of evolution to understand why fear is so deeply hardwired into our very being. Let's travel back in time, way back. Imagine our ancestors on the vast open savanna. For them, the world wasn't a place of scenic landscapes. It was a minefield of hidden dangers. A rustle in the grass wasn't just the wind. It could be a saber-toothed cat. A strange-looking fruit wasn't an exotic treat. It could be a deadly poison. In this world, the cautious survived. The ancestor who jumped at every shadow, who was suspicious of everything new, was the one who lived to see another day and pass on their genes. The fearless, overly curious one, well, they likely became lunch. This is the core of what's called the smoke detector principle in evolutionary psychology. Think about it. A smoke detector is designed to be overly sensitive. It might go off when you burn toast, which is annoying, but you tolerate those false alarms because the one time it detects a real fire, it saves your life. Our fear response is the exact same. It is better to be scared of 100 things that will and hurt you than to be fearless of the one thing that will. Our brains are hardwired to assume the worst-case scenario because, for our ancestors, that assumption was the difference between life and death. That lingering feeling that something is wrong, that gut instinct telling you to be careful, that's your internal smoke detector, a gift from your cautious ancestors. So, how does this work inside our brains? The key player here is a tiny almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Think of the amygdala as your brain's alarm system. When your senses pick up a potential threat, a loud noise, a scary face, a dark alley, that information takes a high-speed shortcut directly to the amygdala, bypassing the more logical, slower thinking parts of your brain. The amygdala instantly triggers the fight or flight response. Your heart rate skyrockets, pumping blood to your muscles. Your breathing quickens, taking in more oxygen. Adrenaline and cortisol flood your system, making you hyper-alert and ready for action. This all happens in a fraction of a second, long before your conscious mind has even had a chance to process what's happening. It's an automatic, primal reaction. That's why you jump first and ask questions later. Your amygdala doesn't care if it is a real tiger or just the cat knocking over a lamp. It reacts first to keep you safe. This evolutionary programming explains so many of our modern fears. Take the fear of heights or acrophobia. For our tree-dwelling ancestors, a fall could be fatal. Those who had a healthy respect for heights were more likely to survive. How about the fear of snakes and spiders? Throughout history, these creatures have posed a significant threat with their venomous bites. Studies have shown that even primates who have never seen a snake in their lives will show an innate fear response to one. It's pre-programmed. Even our social fears, like the fear of public speaking or rejection, have evolutionary roots. For early humans, being part of a group was essential for survival. Banishment from the tribe meant almost certain death. So, we evolved to be highly sensitive to social judgment and disapproval. The fear of being ostracized is a modern echo of that ancient need for belonging. But here's the catch. We're living in a world our brains weren't built for. The threats have changed, but our ancient wiring hasn't. We no longer have to worry about saber-toothed cats, but our amygdala can't tell the difference between a predator and a stressful work deadline. A nasty comment on social media can trigger the same fight or flight response as a physical threat. Our brains are constantly setting off the smoke detector for burnt toast. This mismatch between our ancient fears and our modern environment is a major reason why anxiety disorders are so common today. Our internal alarm system is stuck on high alert, scanning for dangers that are, for the most part, no longer there. We're running from imaginary tigers, and it's exhausting. So, what can we do? We can't simply turn off millions of years of evolution, but we can learn to work with our wiring. The first step is understanding. Knowing that your fear is a natural, ancient response can be incredibly empowering. It's not a personal failing, it's a feature of your design. When you feel that wave of anxiety, you can take a moment to acknowledge it. Thank your brain for trying to protect you, and then use your rational mind, the slower, more logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, to assess the situation. Is this a real tiger, or is this just burnt toast? This practice of mindfulness, of observing your fear without judgment, allows you to put some distance between the trigger and your reaction. Techniques like deep breathing are also incredibly powerful. When you slow your breathing, you're sending a signal to your nervous system that the threat has passed. You're manually turning down the alarm. It tells your amygdala, hey, we're safe. You can stand down. This simple action can help short-circuit the fight or flight response and bring you back to a state of calm. It's like pressing the reset button on your internal smoke detector. Furthermore, we can gradually retrain our brains through exposure. If you're afraid of something, avoiding it only makes the fear stronger. It reinforces the amygdala's belief that the thing is truly dangerous. By slowly and safely exposing yourself to what you fear, you teach your brain that it's not a threat. Your logical mind shows your primal brain that there's no tiger in the room. This process helps recalibrate your fear response to be more appropriate for the modern world. It's not about becoming fearless. It's about becoming brave. It's about learning to hear the alarm, check for a real fire, and then, if it's just burnt toast, calmly turn it off and open a window. Fear is a fundamental and frankly fascinating part of the human experience. It's a shadow cast by our long journey of survival. While it may feel like a dark and difficult burden in our modern lives, it's also a testament to the resilience of our ancestors. It's a powerful force that has kept our species alive for millennia. By understanding its origins, we can learn to respect its power, manage its quirks, and not let it rule our lives. Our fears don't have to define us. They can be a reminder of just how far we've come. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the mind. If you found this interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into what makes us human. And let me know in the comments what is a fear you have that you think might have evolutionary roots. I'd love to read your thoughts. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.